Welcome back to another Kendama tutorial. Today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on stunt plane flip fast hands. Here's an example of a single stunt plane flip fast hand. First thing I want to talk about is the kendama that you're using. Generally, a kendama with a shorter spike is going to be easier. It just makes that initial flip come out a little bit easier. But you can use maple, you can use beech, you can use bamboo, whatever wood you want. But I would suggest a shorter spike and also having a pretty long string as well, especially if you're going to be going up to multiple stunt plane flip fast hands. Having a longer string is definitely going to help. I've gotten a lot more consistent at this trick over the past couple months. I went from not even really being able to do one consistently to being able to do triples and quads consistently. I've hit 1, 2, 3, 4 stunt fast flips. I've hit a round triple. I've hit toss 5. I've hit 5. I've hit toss 4. So yeah, I feel like I'm finally kind of qualified to do this video. So yeah, let's get into it. First thing I want to talk about is your grip. What I used to do for stunt plane flips was a grip kind of where I had my pointer finger over the top string hole and then my other fingers just kind of placed like this around the tama. That's how I used to do stunt plane flips. But now what I do is I kind of have most of my fingers near kind of the center of the tama. I don't have my pointer finger on top anymore. I've found that having your hand kind of lower on the tama makes that fast hand a little bit easier because of course you're a little bit closer to the ken. So this is kind of the grip I like to have. I like to have my thumb kind of a little bit to the left of the big cup, but also kind of in front. It's not perfectly in front, but it's just right there, sitting right there. And then pointer, middle, ring finger, and pinky just kind of resting gently on the other side of the tama. Next thing I want to talk about is the positioning of the ken and the tama before you do the flip. One thing I would suggest against doing is having the stunt plane flip happen right in front of you, right between your two legs. What I like to do is have the ken and the tama kind of positioned right in front of my right leg. If you're left-handed, it would be in front of your left leg. This feels just more natural for me, but it also improves my ability to track the stunt plane flip because I kind of get more 3D information, if that makes sense. If it's right in front of me, really all I'm seeing is the front plane of the ken. But if it's right here, I can see the front, but I can also see the side a little bit. So it gives me a little bit extra information for tracking. From here, I start initiating the stunt plane flip. What I kind of like to do is just bend my knees. I kind of keep the ken straight. I don't come up like this at all. I keep it relatively straight. And then as I go into the flip, you just kind of pull the tama back and that'll initiate the flip. The next thing I want to talk about is the height of the flip itself. Now, obviously, if you're doing like a 5, it's going to be higher than if you're just doing a single. But one thing that I found is that you honestly kind of catch the stunt plane flip at the same spot, no matter how many you're doing. So there's a single and there's a double. And you're gonna see, even though that with the double, there's one extra flip, I'm kind of catching it at the same height as the single. The next thing here I wanna talk about is the tama position. Now, this has been talked about a lot by people like Johnny Kress and the Gallaghers. The most optimal way to do a stunt fast, especially from multiple flips that these players have found, is to actually have the tama hole, the bevel kind of facing away from them. So as you initiate this flip, you kind of just naturally put the bevel in that location, and where they catch it is past vertical. So sometimes you'll see players catch a stunt fast a little bit early. Sometimes you'll see them do it straight up, but what you'll see with the best players is that they catch it past vertical to where the spike is actually facing towards them. So that's why they have the bevel facing away. So you kind of let that spike just find its way into the bevel. One really useful tip that Rudney gave me, if you guys haven't seen Rudney, he's super good at these. He's done 8, I believe, 8 stunt fast flips. One thing he said is to think of it more as like a jumping stick and to think of the ken just like coming into the hole instead of you tracking the spike with the tama. So you kind of think about it in an opposite way, to where the ken is coming into the tama hole instead of you searching for it, you know? So again, that catch position is really important. What this allows you to do is it gives you more time to actually do the stunt fast. as it kind of stops that momentum, it gives you more time because now it's falling down this way, as opposed to if you catch it early here, the Ken's just gonna kind of fall out of the Tama. You're not gonna have any time to do a stunt fast. So stopping its momentum here in the spike and then letting go of the Tama and switching down to the Ken, it gives you more time and it's more likely that you're gonna, you know, hit the stunt fast. Now, catching the spike here is gonna feel really weird at first. It's gonna feel really alien in a way, because if you're used to doing your stunt planes straight up or even a little bit early, it's gonna feel completely different. I don't have too many tips on how you can actually learn it. You just gotta get that muscle memory and just put in a ton of reps and just get used to waiting an extra second and really just having that spike come into the hole. Here's a quick example of a triple, just to kind of show you how the bevel kind of stops the Ken's momentum. All right, so there's an example of how a triple looks. So as you can see, again, you want the bevel to kind of stop the momentum of the Ken, and then that gives you enough time to do the grip switch. In terms of the Fasthand itself, I actually don't put too much thought into it. I really put all my focus into getting a perfect flip, a perfect stoppage of the momentum. And then if you just let go and you kind of drop, then you use your knees as you come down and you just kind of let gravity do its job, you know? One thing I don't like when I see people do stunt fast is catching the cups. So what I try to do is make sure that I get my hand far enough under the cups so I just kind of catch it right there. Obviously, that's a little bit cleaner than catching the cups like that. One thing I'll say is that this trick is very tough to learn, and it's gonna take a lot of reps of just like completely missing in general. But there is kind of a breakthrough moment that, like, once you put enough hours in, they just kind of start to click and they get a lot easier. So yeah, just keep at it. It's gonna take a while. It's not gonna come right away. In my opinion, it's a lot more of like an exponential progression rather than like a linear progression compared to a lot of other tricks. Like, you're gonna notice a big jump. You're gonna suck at them really bad for a while, and then all of a sudden it's gonna feel kind of like it happened overnight, but it's because of how many hours you put in and how many reps you put in. You're gonna feel a lot more confident with them and a lot more consistent. So yeah, those are all the tips I have for this trick. I'm not gonna talk about toss stunt fasts. A lot of the same principles apply for that, but there is a little bit more tech that goes into those. That I might do that in a future video, we'll see. But hopefully this helped. Let me know down below if it did. And yeah, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out. Ooh, there we go. Tripped, ended off.